Today we're only going to be using these 3 items. This is only 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients. Wait, that's 6. 3 ingredients. That's freaking awesome. Now, when I say 3 ingredients, that doesn't include the toppings, because you could put on there, I use an egg wash and then I put on everything bagel and it tastes like a bagel. It's just incredible. But you could put on there salt, make a salted bagel. You put on cheese, make like an asiago bagel, all kinds of things. So whatever you like on a bagel, you can put on there. I only put the 3 ingredients that I'm using to make the bagel, and then you could add whatever you like. I did try mixing stuff into the bagel, and what happened was the whole thing went flat. So I wouldn't mix too much stuff into the mix of the bagel. So I grew up on Long Island. Oh, let me start with, there are times where I could be a little chatty, a little loquacious. If you want to go right to the ingredients and me cooking, there's chapters down below, and you can go right to the spot you want, where you want to go, or you can go right to the end and get the recipe. I'll pause it up on the screen for a little while, and you can either cook it looking at that or write it down, whatever you want. I grew up on Long Island, and one of the few great memories that I have with my dad is of Sunday morning going to get bagels. Now, we would go to a deli, and on Long Island, they have fresh fish all the time. So they would actually cut the locks off the fish. There was a huge fish, and they would actually skim it off as much as you would want. My dad and I would come home with 12 bagels, and we'd say to my mom, well, here you go, here's a dozen. And she goes, okay, where's the 13th? You're missing one. I have no idea what you're talking about, as I'm brushing off crumbs, But we would split a bagel on the way home. It's just a good memory. When I went keto, that's one of the things I lost. I lost pizza and I lost bagels, 2 things that I love. Christmas morning, my wife makes this awesome meal for everyone who comes over. She makes like bananas Foster. She makes some sort of egg and sausage casserole. Amazing stuff. My father would bring over some bagels for us. That's the thing that I wanted to eat the most, was the bagels and lox. And so a lot of times I would put aside the bananas Foster. I'd put aside bananas Foster. Come on. And I'd have bagels. That's how good I love bagels. They're made with King Arthur keto wheat. So I don't know how they did it in King Arthur. They're actually located in Vermont, and I'm going to take a trip out there, go see Camelot. It's kind of cool that they have flour, that you don't have to go through all the gyrations of making a keto flour. I don't like almond flour. I wanted something with high protein, low carb. So I like to start with the dry stuff first. I use a glass bowl, and I usually mix things up at first. We're gonna get dirty on this one, but usually I start with a wooden spoon. I have my magnetic measuring cups, and I'll put a link to that below if you guys want to get something like that. But so we're gonna start off with a cup, King Arthur's Magic Keto Wheat Flour. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it doesn't taste bad either. So we're gonna put that in. And next we have 2 teaspoons baking powder, and I think that's what makes it airy and fluffy. That's I believe what Google said. I like to mix all the dry stuff together first. That way it's all well blended before you add any kind of water. Some things do clump up if you add wet stuff to the dry stuff first. So I like to well mix everything dry first. So I'm gonna mix this all up pretty good. So the baking powder is all in there. Okay. This is where we add the magic ingredient, cottage cheese. Now, some of you might not like cottage cheese. I don't mind the taste of cottage cheese, but you don't taste it. It tastes like bread. Some people have actually used some sort of cloth or something just to squeeze out the liquid in the cottage cheese. I usually don't do that. I let it bake with it. Okay, so that's 1 1/4. So that's 1 1/4. And I know some people have actually blended this just so it's a smoother texture. I forget her name, but I'll have a link to it below because she was really great. Now, she didn't make it keto. She used regular flour for this, but this is her invention, and I'll have a link below. She doesn't blend this either. She said she likes the air pocket, so I'm like, ooh, let me try it like that. So now we're gonna mix it all together, try and make some sort of dough. And I start the mixing with the spoon, but you're gonna end up using your hands. There's just no way around it. I usually only use one hand, that way it's kind of messy. But I mix it as much as I can with the spoon first. Okay, I'm going in with my hand. I took my ring off. That's the last thing you want to do when you're eating a bagel, is all of a sudden spit out a ring. You just want to mix it up till you get almost like a round thing of dough. Now, if you guys have a better way of mixing this, I would love to hear it. I'm always reading your comments, and I love it. Some of them are kind of inspirational. One post, she talked about losing 80 pounds. I'm like, that's just amazing by eating the low carb diet. That's incredible. I think it's something that's sustainable. You can stay on this low carb stuff forever. It's not something that'll burn out. Gooey all over my hand. I'm trying to mix it like the KitchenAid does. Get all the stuff off the sides. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna end up with a nice little ball. Okay, so I got the mat and tray, and this is just a silicone mat. I'll have a link to that below if you want to get that as well. And what we're gonna do is just spread a little bit of flour. I've actually even used almond flour for this part. Basically, you want to spread a little just so it doesn't stick. It's also kind of good to get it on your hands too. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ball and we're gonna kind of roll it a little just so that it has flour on the outside. It's not as sticky, but basically we want to make it into one big ball. And we're gonna take you can take anything you have, but I have this I use, and you're gonna cut it into 4 even pieces. So I'm gonna roll this into a ball, kind of like this. What you want to do is pinch the middle, kind of poke your finger through. Don't break the bagel. You want it to you want to form it basically like a bagel. So, and the hole will close up, so you can make the hole pretty big. So when you come out, you're gonna have something kind of like this. We're gonna do that 4 times. I'm gonna make 4 of those, and you'll see they're different sizes, and that's okay. So you want to make these stand up as straight as you can, because I think when you cook them, they kind of sag a little. They blow up, but they also sag. So make them stand up straight as much as you possibly can. Now we're getting to the exciting part. Okay, so the next thing we're doing is we're making the egg wash. This is where the magic happens. This is where it all comes together. We're going to take 1 egg. We're going to mix it up. And I'm using the same bowl just because I don't like using a lot of bowls. Okay, so we're gonna take a lot of everything bagel seasoning. We're gonna just pour it in a plate. We're gonna get a good amount of it. The girl who I watched do this, she said she's a flavor girl. She likes to do it on all sides of this, and I am totally 100% with her on that. So we're gonna use this little brush thing. And we're gonna take the bagels and we're gonna put a nice little egg wash on it. So we're just gonna cover the whole thing with egg. Brush it on the sides, brush it in the hole, brush it everywhere. And then we're gonna dump it right on that plate. We're gonna flip it and we're gonna do the other side now. And you can see this gets messy, but you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. I only broke 1. Dad jokes. You want to be careful and try and do the sides. So, and this is whatever flavor you want to put on this. You can put anything. I like the everything bagel. And then just put it aside and grab the next guy. Egg wash is something that's very fancy for me. This is like the next level. We're taking it to the major leagues. So now, I gotta go wash my hands. It is a messy recipe. Okay, so you're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 350. Seems like all my recipes are at 350, so I might be a one-trick pony. Once it's all set, you put them in, and you're gonna set the timer for around 30 minutes. I usually check it 30 minutes, and then I add time. If you press them, they might be soft, and if they are super soft and not crispy, let them stay in a little longer. And once you take them out, you have gorgeous bagels. Beautiful boys. They're awesome. So these are awesome. I actually use them for rolls, for things with other food. They are not New York style bagels, okay? Certain things come from certain areas that are very special. New York has bagels and pizza. You get wine from Italy. pastries from France, cigars from Cuba. Certain things grow and are made in certain areas that are just amazing. So New York is one of those with the bagels. They say it's something in the water. I don't know. Okay, so full disclosure, I actually already ate one. I had it with a burger. It was amazing. I had the Parmesan. I sprinkled a little Parmesan on one of these, on two of them actually, and I had one of those with the burger. So if you want to make it more savory, you can do stuff like sprinkle Parmesan on it. If you want to do something with like lox or tomato and cream cheese, then you probably don't want it as savory. You probably want to do like an everything bagel. Or since I've started making these, I make them probably once a week. I make about 4 of them and eat them throughout the week. You use them as bagels, or you can make sandwiches with them. So that was Danny Spy's low-carb cottage cheese bagels, and they are now a staple in my diet. This is something I have all the time. It's low-carb. They're awesome. They're cottage cheese, so you want to let them cool. You might put them in the fridge. I actually toast them before I even use them. Anytime I use them, I cut it in half, toast them so that they're a little crispy, but it's, you know, it's cottage cheese in the middle, so it's a little soft. But the outside is, they're hard. They're like bread. So if you want just the recipe, this is a great place to stop, pause the screen, and the recipe's right up here. There's only 3 things, so it's pretty easy. It's pretty awesome. I hope you guys like this. Are you looking for more low-carb goodies? Then go ahead and raid my fridge. I've got a playlist full of all kinds of treats. Hope you have a great day.